So, how do you get trauma out of the body? You address it from many different angles. So, you start with nervous system regulation. Like I teach in my course, Find Calm in the Chaos, it's about widening the riverbeds. It's about making it more tolerable to just let shit move through you. You don't even have to know what it is or organize it or make sense of it. It's just about regulating your nervous system to start with. Then we look at the unconscious, like we bring up, right? It's kind of like we've cleared the kitchen table. Now we can go to the closet, take a box, put it out on the table, and start to go through it. So we start to bring the unconscious conscious. Those are things like the things that frustrate you about yourself, right? So I know I'm not supposed to try to be controlling, but I was explaining and defending, and then it just turned into this big thing. Or I don't want to take responsibility for everything, but here I signed up for more stuff because nobody else would. It's the things that you feel driven to do or have urges to do that cause you trouble in your life. That's because it's not your highest and best self. It's not aligned with your current values, why you're doing those things. It's a trauma response. And the more ingrained it is, the more hint that that's because it worked really well for you. So, for example, somebody who's super responsible and signs up for everything, well, that person likely was raised in a household where nobody else was taking responsibility. So you did. And so it became this habit. But now that may lead to resentment or, people didn't ask for your help, so they push back. And it's just frustrating. So we bring that conscious. Now, you can do that in traditional therapy. You don't need EMDR or somatic work or trauma work to do that. But we need to take it a step further. We need to mentor those parts of self so that they can grow up in the way that they deserved. So it's a developmental approach so that they get what they needed in the way they need it to be, so that then it's like, oh, it is different now. So we can't just like intellectualize it. We can't just understand it. That won't change it. It's by changing the body, the nervous system, making friends with the emotions, letting them be your guide. And there's methods to do that as well to regulate the emotional system. And this all makes more space in your body for your authentic self. So then you can start to be housed in the body, right? Instead of like mosh pit in the head or dissociated or just like feeling like you're on puppet strings to the outside world, you're just reacting. No, when you're embodied, I call it embodied awakening because it's like you're awakening to your true nature. And then you start to connect to your intuition. It's like being in the body gives you all sorts of signals about how you want to live your life. And then life doesn't feel so hard. That's when the relief, the quiet, the calm from within, and feeling more fulfilled. And there's a spiritual journey to this as well. Like, what is my purpose? What's it all for? Why am I here? Well, when you're embodied, you start to feel the truth of those things. You start to live from that place. So then you're no longer surviving, you're thriving.